Hey now, friends, it is me, Lola,
This is Dante.
and you are listening to a super special spontaneous message by Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. What?
Nothing.
I don't know. I just heard those S's and I was like, I wanted to keep it going.
I like it.
But anyways, it's me, Lola, and it's Dante, and we got a super special message for y'all from the Smoking Prophet. Y'all know what the Smoking Prophet is. So do me a favor, come into the room and come in quickly. We came on a moment ago and we jumped out and then we came back on. And I'm hoping that our connection and everything is going to be okay and it won't be any issues. It won't be any problems. I honestly wish I could go out of this browser really quickly to do something, but I can't. So it's okay. Okay, Sarah, Sarah. Usually when we are audio only, the engagement is a little bit different. So what we're going to do is just spend a little bit of time waiting on people to come in. Also, I want you to let us know where you're coming in from as you're coming on the broadcast. And if you come back on the replay, then let us know, hey, hello, and all of that good stuff. This message is spontaneous, but I feel like it's so necessary because I see it and I've experienced this personally, people not giving me my flowers. So I want to talk to you all about what happened to me and something that like the Lord told me that really, really hurt y'all. Like it really, really hurt, but it's okay. And I'm cool with it. And I've moved on past that point. But sometimes the reality and what God will tell you, it don't always feel good. And when I say that, I'm talking about what he tells you to um help you, you know, become who he wants you to be, but then also what he'll reveal about like other people. And it'll be like, dang, that sucks. And you'll be like, oh man. And he'll be like, it's okay, just pick yourself back up and I got you. So I want to talk to you and share like a little story of something that hurt. That's why it says give people their flowers. This hurts. Dante, you got anything to say?
At the moment, I
Lady
don't.
Ty, we see you, love you.
I'm ready to go ahead and get into this story. I think I just thought of something that may have happened to me as well, but I'll share it a little bit later.
Okay. And do us a favor as you're coming on. Let us know that you're here. Drop a comment and say, hey, because as I mentioned a few days ago, when we do these live talks, the benefit of us doing the live talk is that you all can communicate back with us. You can share your input. You can share something with us. It's not just us talking and just having a conversation with each other. We're having a conversation with you. So we want you to join in. We want you to say, hey, we want you to interact with us. So do us a favor. Go ahead and say, hey, I see the only person that's commented so far is Todd Johnson. We love you. Right back. You know that. And I want to see some other comments coming down there. So today I was just thinking, I was like, give people their flowers. And I made a post on social media about it. And then I had some cute flowers come through in the comments. I was like, that's so cute. And I laughed. Lady Ty did it. Who else did it? Brenda G did it. And I was like, that's so, so cute. But I didn't say that so that I would get flowers. I said that because it's true. We need to give people their flowers. We need to honor people the way that they deserve to be honored, and that's through recognition. Okay, if someone helps you, you should tell them thank you. Number one, I shouldn't have to say this as an adult. Yeah. You should tell them thank you. Mm-hmm. And then you should also let other people know that they helped you. Okay? And I don't know why we act like that's a problem. Now, it's a problem if I help Dante and then I'm running around telling people all the help that I did for Dante and it was a personal matter. That would be different. But if I help Dante, it's natural for him to tell me thank you.
It is.
And then for him to maybe go and share with somebody like, hey, this person helped me. Or if it's a case at where something I've given you has helped you at work and someone says, wow, I noticed that you're doing this differently and blah, blah, blah. Well, hey, I took a class with Lola and it helped me. It blessed me so much. And because of it, I'm doing better work. That's natural. That's normal. But I find that people don't always do that. People don't always give people their flowers. Mm. And then you wonder why ain't nobody giving you the flowers you feel like you deserve. It's because you're not putting out in the earth the thing that you want to get back.
That's good.
And then I thought next, I was like, and they got the nerve to not give people their flowers. Then they got the nerve to go acting like Nicodemus. I was like, stop acting like Nicodemus. So those were like the two statements that I wrote. Give people their flowers and stop acting like Nicodemus. Stop acting like Nicodemus. I can't tell you how many people I've had come to me in private and ask me for stuff. And then publicly, they don't even act like I exist.
Wow.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like, okay, so if you go ahead, babe, say what you're going to say.
I literally was just thinking, I kind of cringed as I thought about that. Just the sheer fact that in private, you're literally saying, I need you, I need you, I need you. But in public, you pretend I'm not there.
And okay, so that's good, babe. Felicia Kimberly Rose said, this is so right. I tell people Lola gives the best book suggestions. And this is cool because you're supposed to share. Mm-hmm. You hear me? You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do that. Exactly. That's normal. I'd be like, man, Felicia's page makes me laugh. Go follow her page. Or I'll say that about Brenda G. Like, and I'll share that like probably once a year on my page. Like, her page makes me laugh. You know, Lady Ty, like, if you're trying to get your book done, join her group. Like, she's gonna get results. Like, I've seen her do this with people. She's gonna get results. That's normal. That's what we're supposed to be doing, but we don't always do it. So I said, give people their flowers. And then I said, stop acting like Nicodemus. My husband was like, what you mean acting like Nicodemus? I was like, let me pull out this scripture. So this is John chapter 3. Jesus teaches Nicodemus. Now there was a Pharisee, a man named Nicodemus, who was a member of the Jewish ruling council. He came to Jesus at night. Mm-hmm. He came to Jesus at night in secret. That's what that means. When it says that he came to Jesus at night, he came to Jesus in secret. Jesus was out all day, every day. You hear me? Yes, I hear you. Talking to people, helping people, serving. He would take little dips to go and rest and then come back. But he was out in the daytime. But Nicodemus came to Jesus at night. He came to Jesus at night, verse 2, and said, Rabbi. He said, Rabbi. What does that mean? He acknowledged him as teacher. Yep. He acknowledged his authority. Okay? Yeah. I almost said a word. People be coming to other people in secret. They acknowledge their authority. They acknowledge what they have. They come to them like Nicodemus in secret. So you saying he slid in Jesus' DMs? He definitely did, Lady Ty. He slid up in the DMs. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Slid up in there. He came, he said, Rabbi, we know that you are a teacher who has come from God. He recognized his authority. He acknowledged it. Mm-hmm. For no one could perform the signs you are doing if God were not with him. And then Jesus replied, verily, truly, I tell you, and I almost said it in the King James, verily, verily, I say unto you, because in when I was studying seminary, we had to like break down this verse. I'm sorry, this whole chapter. So like, it's impressed on my mind in that King James. But very truly, I tell you, no one can see the kingdom of God unless they are born again. And then Nicodemus goes on to ask more questions. So my point in bringing this up is saying that we act like Nicodemus. One, we don't give people their flowers. Yep. We don't acknowledge them. We don't recognize them. We don't honor them the way we need to. I almost said something.
I know you did. I'm looking at your face right
now. I almost said something. Lord, I almost said something. We don't acknowledge them the way we need to. And then we come to them like Nicodemus. In secret. We come to them in secret. We come to them recognizing and beholding their authority, beholding what they have to offer. And we get what we want to get from them. And then we go off. And we're better or we're changed because of it. And this person, you've left them sitting there and haven't acknowledged what they've done, haven't given them recognition, or you talk about them to others. Now there's a dual, there's a two parts that I want to bring up about sharing and recognizing people in front of others. That's wonderful. But if you're only recognizing people in front of others and never in front of those people, you're missing out. I'm listening to this book the other day, and in the book, the professor, he teaches like, he studies psychology, human behavior, and he has a really cool book. But he talked about how he knew that if you gave people compliments was automatically a trigger for gaining access to those people and being able to influence them positively.
Oh wow.
He said, but he had a problem. He would compliment people to others, but when it came time to telling them the compliment, he would just like fold, like he couldn't do it and couldn't get it out. But he knew how powerful it was. He knew how powerful it was to say to Dante, I've noticed this work that you've done on this project for me for the last several weeks, and it is really good. I couldn't have done this on my own. He noticed how powerful that was and how it would encourage the hearer. It would encourage them to continuously grow in those areas that you were complimenting, yet he couldn't do it. You hear me?
Yeah,
because something within him stopped him. But what he said in his story is that he's just learned to push through and power through and intentionally take time to compliment the people around him. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
And that's what we have to do. Because if you're complimenting and you're recognizing people in front of others, but it's never in front of those people, you're missing out on something powerful that you can be doing for them. Am I making sense, y'all?
Yeah, you made total sense.
Okay, go ahead, babe.
You just literally reminded me of a moment I had.
I'm sorry, you had something on your beard and I had to get it off. I've been looking at it for like the last 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I apologize.
You're fine.
I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you.
So you literally just reminded me of a moment I had where that exact same scenario happened, where I did have to remind myself to give somebody credit, and I had forgotten to for about a month. So what happened was there was a friend of mine who helped me in a situation, and I literally needed a friend. Like he was a go-to friend. He helped me out in a situation where I drastically needed help. I couldn't have done this without him. He ended up allowing me to crash at his place for a little bit while I was in a really bad situation out of a relationship. So he let me crash. He didn't even ask any questions. I just said, hey, look, man, I'm in an emergency. I don't know what I'm going to do. I need some help. He said, look, I got you. That friend, I stayed with him for a month or so, and he was a gracious host. He helped me out, didn't even think about it. And I left. I had managed to get back on my feet. I left, and I didn't remember to thank him.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to thank him because, hey, so many things were happening. I just made an excuse and forgot to thank him. So about a month went by, and in the back of my mind, I realized, wow, I'm here. I'm finally in a good spot. I didn't even tell him thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go. So I called him up. I asked him to meet me at for lunch. I bought him lunch, and I said, I really needed you.
You bought him lunch.
I bought him lunch.
Come on and bless somebody.
I said,
come on and give people their flowers.
Exactly. I told him,
say thank you and then show them thank you. Go ahead.
No, you're right. But I told him, thank you. I could not have done this without you. You have no idea just how much of a blessing you were in my life. And I promise you, I couldn't thank you more. You were a gracious host, and I appreciate you.
How did he respond?
He was kind of blown away. He was like, I just wanted to help my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make sure you were good, because the last thing, actually, now that I think about it, this is the kind of moment where when you do stuff for people and they remember it and they give you credit, it was a vice versa situation, because that same friend was literally in a life or death situation. He needed to buy, he had a really bad situation to happen, and he needed to get some medicine in order to literally save his life. He didn't have the money available. And this was 2-3 years from when I needed help from him. But he called me up. I was at work. He was like, hey, look, I need, this amount of money. I'm swear to you, this is a life or death situation. I don't know what's going to happen with me. And I was like, I got you. So I got him the money that day. Like, he literally came to my job. I got to an ATM, gave him the money, didn't think anything of it. He was like, man, I appreciate it. And hadn't thought about it, because we're friends. So, it's just kind of one of those things that happened. But 2 years later, when I needed him, he was like, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you what you did for me, because you saved my life that day. It would be wrong of me not to help you when you needed me.
So you helped him with the money, and then you needed him for something way bigger. And he was like, fam.
Yeah.
Well, I guess way bigger it wasn't way bigger because his situation was life or death. But you get what I'm
I get
saying.
what you're saying.
He needed help, and you helped him years prior,
Mm-hmm.
and he remembered you.
Yeah.
And he helped you.
And he helped me.
This is making me think about Joseph when, okay, and I'm going to the
yeah.
Bible, Old Testament, and Joseph was in prison.
Mm-hmm.
And there were two people that had these dreams that troubled him, and Joseph had a gift to interpret dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So he interpreted their dreams, and one was like, if this happens, this is something. Okay, he didn't say all of that. But anyways, he said he was going to remember him
Mm-hmm.
when he got out
Yep.
and help him out. And the man got out and did not remember him immediately.
Exactly.
He didn't remember him immediately. He remembered him like some years later. I can't remember. Maybe 3. Anyways, I can't remember how many at this moment. But he didn't remember him immediately. But he did eventually remember him. Mm-hmm. He did eventually remember Joseph. And as a result, like, Joseph's life shifted, and he was pulled out of the prison. So it's really fascinating and cool what gifts can do, so to speak, and a gift and you just being yourself and being kind to people and helping them. But the point that we're making overall here today is give people their flowers.
Yes.
Give people their flowers.
Mm-hmm.
If they've done something to you. Dante shared that story just to make plain that his friend helped him out and he forgot to say thank you. Mm-hmm. And he went back and told him thank you and took him to dinner, or took him to lunch and paid for lunch. Mm-hmm. Hey, thank you. Give people their flowers. Yeah. Tell them thank you. Honor them publicly. I don't know why we acting like we can't do that. The Bible says, let another praise you and not your own lips. Yes. And not your own tongue. Mm-hmm. It doesn't say anything about that person shouldn't celebrate and honor you. Mm-hmm. It just says that you should let other people do that. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Let's not over spiritualize this and make this too deep. Mm-hmm. Honor people. Respect them. Tell them thank you. Yeah. Recognize them to their face. Mm-hmm. Yes. Talk about them to other people. You should do that. You should do that. But make sure you come and tell them thank you, because it does something on the inside of them, and it's like a child. When we have children, okay, so here's a tip for parents and anybody that's going to be a parent one day. Your children will get old enough to be able to tell you what they need from you. And even when they're young and can't communicate all of their feelings and their emotions that well, you can ask them questions and they can tell you what they need. I asked one of our children, I didn't even tell you this, babe. I asked one of our children the other day how they wanted me to affirm them. But I didn't say, kid, tell me how you want me to affirm you. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I said to them, what can I say to you to make you feel good? What type of words do you like to hear? Mm-hmm. And they told me. They were like, that I'm helpful. I like when you tell me that I'm helpful. Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to cry thinking about it. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And I made a list and I wrote it down. But my baby was able to communicate to me what they wanted from me. Now you're like, what does this have to do with what you're talking about? Everything. He communicated to me something that is within him. Mm-hmm. It's a strength that's already in him to be helpful. That's one of his strengths. Yeah. He told me how he wanted me to affirm him by calling out one of his strengths. Mm-hmm. Now, when you recognize people, when you tell them thank you, when you call out the great things that they've done to you, it calls those things to the forefront. Mm. It makes them want to work on them even more. That's true. So you begin to call people's gifts out of them literally by recognizing them.
Oh, I like that. Babe, that's good.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. It's good.
And he told me, he was like, I like when you tell me I'm helpful. I was like, okay, I can tell you that. And I was like, you just told me what your strength is. I already knew that was one of your strengths. Mm-hmm. But you know what your strength is. You just didn't know that's your strength. And now I'm going to start talking to him more and saying, this is one of your gifts. You're a great helper. You got to guard this. You're a great leader. Yeah. Because you can help people. Mm-hmm. But you got to guard it. So now I'm about to start speaking to that. But anyways, my point in saying all of that was that you recognize people. Tell them thank you. Tell them to them It's
Mm-hmm.
a yes, tell other people, but make sure you go and tell them. I'm thinking about Jesus and the 10 lepers.
Okay.
Nobody came back to tell him thank you, but one.
Mm.
Come back. Okay, so here's what happened in the story. Jesus healed some lepers. That's it. The end. Okay. Nobody said thank you, but one.
One.
Okay. All right, that was it.
I
In
got
this story. See, it was a real easy story. Title and story at the same time. Okay.
you. Okay.
Um, but one came back and told him thank you. Come back and tell people thank you. Come back and recognize them, because when you do that, you're calling their gifts out of them. Okay. Felicia says, sometimes my hesitation is that people will question my sincerity. Felicia, it's happened to me. Do not withhold who you are because of how people will respond to it. People will misinterpret whatever they want to.
That's true.
Okay. People will misinterpret. You can't control how well someone will interpret the information you share with them, your kindness, or anything. Some people are offended by kindness.
Mm-hmm.
I said this a few days ago. I remember I was talking to Dante about like working in customer service and how like working in customer service, it teaches you so much. It teaches you how to talk to people. It teaches you how to problem solve.
Yep.
Problem solve. It teaches you. I'm getting excited. That's why I'm talking so fast. It teaches you how to gather information and gather the right information needed to solve a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you how to de-escalate. It teaches you diplomacy and how to use your words. And if you are someone with a customer service background, you should be creating courses to teach to business owners that don't know how to talk to people.
Ooh.
Okay. Anyways, drop that and leave that there. But back when I worked in customer service a long time ago, I was on the phone with someone,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a really bad situation they were dealing with, and I was on the phone and I was talking to them, and they said, "Can you please stop doing that?" And I was like, "Doing what? I'm sorry. What am I doing?" And they said, "Can you please stop being nice to me?" That's what they said.
Wow.
I said, "This is authentic. This is my personality." Okay. So I'll try not to add so many pleasantries into this conversation, but this is my personality.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not presenting anything to you. I feel really bad for what's happening to you. I wish that I could do more. And this is what we're going to do to make the best out of the situation. And when I got off that phone call, it was the end of the day and I needed to leave and catch my bus.
Yeah.
You remember I was telling you, I used to catch the bus.
Uh-huh.
Like, I need to leave and catch my bus, but I didn't rush through the call. It was just like, it sucks for what's happening to this person. Like, and I empathize. And I remember someone that was near me heard the call and heard what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "What was happening on the call?" I said, the person was really mad and irate. And they were like, "I couldn't tell by how you acted." You hear me? Yes. My point in saying all of that is that some people will misinterpret your kindness, and it's because of what's in them. Okay?
Yeah.
It's because of what's in them. If someone is hurt, if someone is rejected, if someone is offended, if someone has insecurities, then anything you present to them could present as toxic, even when you are being pure and kind. But you cannot allow what they may interpret from you to cause you to shift your personality and who you are. And we did a blog on this a long time ago. You Can't Kill My Vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
I remember that one.
And that was about Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph, the whole time in his story and in scripture, everything was working against him.
Yep.
Everything was working against him the whole time, but he remained the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's how you have to be. Because when you are who you are, you're going to shine a light that attracts. You're going to shine a light that opens doors for you. You're going to shine a light and you're going to be happier. I remember I was being bullied. I told you this, adult bullying. It happens. Yes, I did tell you this. You don't remember. We'll talk about it after this is over because my husband is looking so confused. But I remembered I was dealing with some adult bullying. And at first, my response was, man, I'm just about to not talk to anybody, just shut down completely. And I did that. Mm. And I was so miserable. This was part of the inspiration for writing that blog.
Okay.
You hear me?
Yes.
Babe, this is part of the inspiration. And I remember just shutting down and just was like, I ain't dealing with anybody.
Yeah.
And I was so unhappy during that time because that was not my personality. My personality is love.
Mm-hmm.
My personality is kindness. It's helping other people.
Yes, it is.
I walk down the in a daggone store and I compliment people and it gets on my nerves. And I'm like, why I gotta open my mouth to every dang body? Everybody, I gotta give them a compliment. What is wrong with me? But it's who I am. So me shutting down because of how people were treating me actually hurt me because I couldn't be myself.
Mm.
It was not authentic to me.
Yeah.
It made me miserable. And I decided from that point, I don't care what people do. I don't care what I see from people. I am going to be me. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be loving. I'm going to be giving. I'm going to be nurturing. I'm going to pull people up. If you're around me and you don't want to grow, then you better go because I'm going to irritate the heck out of you if you don't be trying to shake and move and become better than where you presently are and get the maximum joy out of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So Felicia, I'm saying all of that to you to tell you that don't you hesitate on being you. Be kind, be who you are. You're a ball of life. You make people laugh. You bring joy. Be that. Be that because someone in your presence needs that. Someone in your presence needs that. And it may be that little nasty person. It may be them that needs it. You know what I'm saying? Something in you can change them. I remember, okay, this is when we rode the bus. I didn't tell you this story. So back when I rode the bus, there were like three believers that rode the bus. So it was me, it was this girl named Jasmine, and this guy named, I think his name was Alton. I can't really remember his name. And we rode that bus, y'all. We would catch the bus and we would ride to our job because we rode the express bus, take us directly to our job. And we would have like Bible study on the bus. We would talk about Jesus and what was going on in our lives and that kind of stuff. And we were just happy, full of joy. Now, when we first started riding the bus, there was this one bus driver. She would never smile at us. She wouldn't say nothing. You know what I mean? She wouldn't smile. She wouldn't say, hey, we get on the bus and we tell her hello, good morning. You know what I'm saying? Yes. We all coming on there chipper. We're happy to see each other, you know. And she would not say anything to us. And she gave the guy so much problems. She gave him so many problems. She was not nice to him at all. She would see him coming and like try to pull off. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so wow. This was at the beginning of us knowing this lady, but we remained the same. We were still kind. We didn't treat her differently because treating her differently would have meant that we weren't being true to ourselves. Mm-hmm. You hear me?
Yeah.
I remember by the time we stopped riding that bus, by the time I stopped riding, rather, she was talking to us. Mm-hmm. She was inviting us into conversations. Mm-hmm. One day the bus was pulling off and she saw me running towards it. She stopped. Awesome. And she said, you can't have me doing that. And she closed that door. She was like, sit down. I was like, okay. But my point is, we shift things around us when we are being who we are supposed to be and not when we're holding back. Okay? We didn't mean to go there. I didn't even tell y'all the story that hurt me. So I got to get to that. Babe, what you got to say?
Actually, I don't have anything because you was on a roll. I was enjoying it so much. So
yeah, I will not forget that. I wonder where that... Okay, I wonder if he still works for the same company. I remember his name. Full name now. I can see it in my head because I remember on Messenger I used to communicate him and stuff. But yeah, that was so cool. Okay, what are you thinking about?
Nothing really.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm enjoying this. I want to hear your story though.
Okay, so let me just go back and kind of talk about what we've already gotten into. The whole conversation started with me just saying, give people their flowers, recognize them, say thank you, honor them. Don't be like Nicodemus, because the first thing I heard was give people their flowers, and the next thing was stop acting like Nicodemus. And you're like, well, who is Nicodemus? What did he do? Nicodemus is someone that came to Jesus in the Bible, and he came to Jesus at night. So he came to Jesus in secret, and he came to him like, Rabbi. So when he said that, he was recognizing his authority. Mm-hmm. He was recognizing his ability to help him. Mm-hmm. And this is how we treat people sometimes, like Nicodemus.
Mm.
We come to them in secret. We recognize who they are, and we will acknowledge them privately. But when it comes to acknowledging them publicly, we don't.
Mm.
And we've got to stop doing that. Okay?
Yeah.
We've got to give people their flowers. You tell them thank you to them, and then you recognize them in front of others if you feel compelled. And when I say if you feel compelled, I have to say that because I don't want you to think that every time somebody does something for you, you got to go and shout it out on the rooftop. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about for people that intentionally seek out others in secret, get something that serves them and helps their lives in some capacity, and then they pretend like they got it all together on their own. I had to put on my other voice for that.
I like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And then let me share with you all what the Lord showed me that hurt me. Yeah, the Felicia said, you're so passionate today. My personality is very passionate, but it has to be I have to have the energy for it and the room to be passionate. Sometimes it's like, okay, I need to teach. So we're gonna put our little thinking hats on.
Mm-hmm.
And then other times it's like, no, like let me pull something. You know what I'm saying? And this is how the Lord made me. A lot of people don't even know it because I don't get to show it so much, because also I have to get stirred up too. And a lot of times when I come on a broadcast, I'm not in that mode. I'm in like, okay, I want to give some information.
Yep.
I want to give something out. And where I get stirred up at is really in conversations at home and talking to people, and I'll be on the phone and I'll get stirred up and I'll be like, oh, I need to get off the phone. I done got stirred up. And then I'll start writing and I'll write out my thoughts versus talking them through. But let me go back to this. This is a thing that hurt me. Because sometimes what the Lord shows you, it hurts. It hurts. And when he shows you things that have happened and all of that, I think I want to share this dream, but I don't know if I need to share it right now. So I'm going to think about it and it may come out, but I feel like I want to share it, but then I haven't really shared the dream publicly. So I don't know if I want to share it yet. I might want to share it like on a pre-recorded video,
Okay.
or maybe when I do an actual vlog and people can see my face and just not audio. So I think that's what I'm going to do, because I feel like I need to share the dream, but I don't want to do it right now. So a few months ago, I wrote something, and I can go and pull it up. Let me see it right here. I wrote this. It says, sometimes the people God sent to help you didn't do it, and that's why it hasn't happened yet. And I repeat, yet keep going, it's going to happen. Not keep going, keep working, it's going to happen. And so I wrote that because it was inspired by something that God was telling me about me at the time. And what he was telling me is like, there were people that I sent to help you.
Yeah.
And you would be further along if these people would have helped you. But they didn't help you for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay. You're going to get there. You just need to keep working. And so I wrote that as inspired by what the Father was telling me. But when he told me that, it hurt. It hurt. And then I saw like situations, and I saw situations and I saw moments where people interpreted something from me.
Mm.
And because they interpreted something from me, it caused them to respond to me a different way. And because of that, they didn't help me like they could have helped me.
Yeah.
And that hurt me.
Yeah.
Now, can I do anything about how people interpret me?
No.
No, I try to be as authentic as possible. I try to show my personality and say, hey.
And be as clear and transparent as possible, because you give an amazing amount of clarity when you're trying to communicate. And even if you feel that somebody was wrong, then you'd apologize and say, hey, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. So there's nothing I'm sorry, in my opinion, I don't think there's anything you can do about their interpretation, especially when you're so clear.
Yeah. Well, that goes back to some people will just take their experiences and they'll project them. And anyways, that's on you. But my point in sharing, let me be more clear because I wasn't meaning that's on you personally. How people interpret their experience of you and what you're presenting to them is on them.
Mm-hmm.
We can't control that. Like, we cannot control that. Some people are so hurt that they will be offended by the slightest thing.
Mm.
They will see a word. And okay, so here's a word. I remember this was a long time ago working in customer service. Someone was on the phone talking about you people. They just kept saying you people, you people, you people. And I was like, okay. I didn't get bothered by it. But somebody else was like, they just keep saying you people. What people are they talking about? But their experience caused them to see that word away and they didn't like the phrase. Okay. So we can't control that. Okay. We can do our best. But my point in sharing that story is that God showed me something and it hurt. He showed me like, hey, you would be further along if some of the people that I told to help you would have helped you.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Yeah,
if some of the people that I put on your path to help push what you're doing and what I've given you to do would have done that. And I was like, dang, Lord, that sucks. And I guess he told me that because he knew like I wasn't going to act funny. I almost hate that. I almost hate sometimes that I cannot stay mad at people. You hear me? Sometimes I be wanting to be like, oh, they deserve all of it. You said you don't. Wow.
It's a wonderful trait.
Man, I sometimes hate it. I'd be like, I would like to be mad for at least 12 hours, please. I would like 12 hours.
Nope.
Can I have 12?
Nope. You can have 2 hours.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen. So I guess that's why he told me. So my point in telling you all this is just to let you know, give people their flowers. Stop acting like Nicodemus. Stop going to people in secret. Stop recognizing their authority in secret, allowing them to help you, and then never telling them thank you and never recognizing them publicly.
Yep.
And if you have an opportunity to help someone, do it. Because you don't know if the Lord is sending that person to you so that you can help them on their journey and their service to him. Okay? Does that make sense?
That made total sense.
Am I being clear?
You were very
Anybody else got anything to say? Anybody want to shout anything out? I haven't said enough. I'm tired.
I just want to say, I'm going to say shout out to that friend who helped me in my time of need. I always want to thank you. So I just want to say it online as well. Thank you again.
Yeah. And this message is not a call for you to feel bad. Okay. It's not a call for you to feel bad. I don't even like that whole thing of like, we feel bad and we stay in it. If we feel bad, it's so that you can figure out how to fix it. You know what I'm saying? When we feel remorse, when we feel guilt, it's so that it can help us shift something. So it's like, if you feel bad and you know that there is somebody that you need to go and tell thank you, go and tell them thank you. If you know that there's someone that you didn't recognize and honor in the way that you needed to, go do that. Okay? And this whole statement, this whole broadcast is not telling you that you got to go and shout from the rooftops and the mountaintops every time someone helps you. That's not what we're telling you. We're just telling you to recognize, honor people, give them their flowers. Okay? Give them their flowers. And don't be like Nicodemus.
Yes. Don't
go to people in secret. Don't honor them in secret. Don't recognize their authority and who they are in secret. And get what you can get from them there. Don't let them give you something that will shift your life and then not be willing to share with someone else. Hey, this person helped shift my life. Don't do that.
That's good.
Don't do that. I'm about to say something else. I'm going to leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to leave it alone. Yes, lots of lives, which, by the way, I'm going to be doing something called Morning Glory. And I used to do Morning Glories a long time ago, back when Periscope first came out. And I would put my phone up in my car and I'd drive to work and we'd play music, and I would play music and then I maybe give a little short inspirational message. Well, I'm going to start doing that again. But I'm not doing that on Facebook. I'm not doing that on YouTube. I'm not doing it on, where else do we stream at? I don't even use Clubhouse. I'm not doing it any of those places. So if you want to join and you want to be a part, let me know and I'll send you an invite to the platform so that you can join and so that you can catch me over there. And that way I can start doing more of these moments of just like stuff that's on my mind, because I have thoughts all the time. I just don't share them with people.
I'm actually excited about that.
I'm excited too. Anybody got any questions? Anybody got anything you want to share? Anybody got anything you want to you want to say? Thank you, babe.
No problem.
Yeah. What are you taking away from this conversation that we had? For anyone that's listening, comment below with something that you're taking away from this conversation that we had. And Dante, you tell me something that you're taking away, and then I'm going to tell you something I'm taking away.
All right. Biggest takeaway I'm going to have is give them their flowers.
Give who?
Give the people who have helped you, the people who have changed you, encouraged you, or done something that made a difference for you. Give them their flowers. Let them know in public. Let them know directly to their face that, hey, thank you. I needed you. You have no idea how much you helped me. Thank you.
And the one takeaway that I have from this conversation today is that I'm going to give more specific compliments. So if I see someone doing something that's really amazing, I'm going to specifically highlight the strength that I see them demonstrating. Look at me. And I'm going to speak to that more, because in me recognizing what they're doing that's great, it's going to help to pull that out of them. It's going to help them to work on that even more and grow stronger in that thing. So that's what I got from all of this. What did you get? Drop a comment and let us know what you got from this conversation that is wrapping up and ending. As we wrap up, let me just say here, I'm Lola.
And I'm Dante.
You've been listening to a super spontaneous special message from The Smoking Prophet. The Smoking Prophet is a life advice brand designed to resource you spiritually, creatively, and socially. Our goal is to give you what it takes others years to get. We do that through a blog, thesmokingprophet.com, and also a podcast, The Smoking Prophet Podcast, which has over 100 episodes available. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. Please go and find The Smoking Prophet Podcast. Follow us, subscribe to us, and share us. Okay? We're not just on social media coming on and doing live talks. We drop podcasts twice a month.
Yes, we do.
Okay. And also on the smokingprophet.com, we're dropping blogs there all the time. I have content that honestly, I could drop a blog every day of the week and still have content. You know what I'm saying? Like, so go over there, search and find what you need. The content that we make is designed to enrich you spiritually, creatively, and socially. Okay. So go and find the stuff and tell somebody about us. Okay. So Sarah Mia said, I got on very late. It's okay. Okay. She said, that's powerful and impactful. So let me just do a recap of what we talked about today, and then I'm going to get off. So this conversation started with me just having this little thought, like, give people their flowers.
Yep.
And like, some people will just hold on to a compliment. Some people will hang on to a note of appreciation. And it's like, give that to that person that helped you. If you think that person is pretty, tell them. If you think that person is a great orator, tell them. If you think that they have a beautiful voice, let them know. Give them their flowers. If somebody has helped you, give them their flowers. Say thank you. Don't be someone that just takes but never gives. You understand what I'm saying? And then the next part of that, of like, give people their flowers, was stop being like Nicodemus. That's what I heard. Stop being like Nicodemus. So many people will go to others in secret. They will go to others privately, behind closed doors. They will acknowledge their authority. They'll acknowledge that they have something that can benefit them personally. They'll get that benefit from them. And then they will act like everything is everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they don't recognize this person publicly.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, tell people thank you, recognize them publicly. Does this mean that you need to recognize them for every little thing they do to you or all the time, or that you should feel pressure to recognize them? No, that's not what we're saying. You shouldn't feel pressure to recognize people.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't feel pressure to tell them thank you. But guess what? It is natural to tell people thank you. It is natural to be appreciative. That's okay. That's normal to say thank you to someone. And if you feel compelled, recognize them. Don't just act like you look good all by yourself when you know that the makeup artist then beat your face at home and got you looking nice. Don't go out in the streets and act like you did it on your own. Okay, we know we can't use that for a podcast. We could take that out. It's gonna bust somebody's eardrums out in the speaker. Okay, so that was the second part. And then one of the comments that came in through the chat was someone, you can go back up and read it. I'm not going to read it purposely.
Okay.
But someone commented that they're sometimes hesitant to compliment others and to essentially be who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And recognizing others and showing appreciation and showing them that they honor them, that they're hesitant to do that because of what they feel like the other person's response will be, and that person thinking that maybe they're being fake or not being genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you can't do that, because when you are who you are, you shift the people around you. Yeah. But when you withhold who you are, being kind, being loving, showing appreciation, showing honor to others, being generous, just being the beautiful person that you are, when you withhold that, you're going to make yourself miserable because mm-hmm. you're not being true to who you are. And you may not impact the people around you that could be changed just by you being you. Yeah. And the point that I used was like 3 of my peers rode the bus together, and there was this bus driver. We all knew she was mean. Everybody knew she was mean. And by the time I stopped riding that bus, which was like probably several months to a year later, this woman was talking to us. She was opening, she was inviting us into conversation. She was telling us about her family. Mm-hmm. She was waiting on us, looking for us at the bus stop. You hear me? Yes. She would look for us. I knew you were coming. You know, she would look for us, but it just shifted her so much, just you being you. So that was like that's a little mixture of the conversation that got thrown in there. And then I also talked about how powerful recognizing people is to them. How when you go and you tell people thank you, when you go and tell them what they've done to you, it calls those beautiful things to come up out of them. You know what I'm saying? It calls them out, literally. Calls. CALLS. It calls it out, meaning saying, hey, I see you. I see that good heart in there. Come on out of there, you good heart. I see your beautiful heart. It calls it out, and then it causes it to come to the forefront. Cause, CAUSE, cause. This is it to come to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? So this is why we have to recognize people. And it just makes the world a better place. You know what I'm saying? It just makes the world a better place, especially when we are believers and we're called to spread light. We're called to spread light. That's our job. Mm-hmm. Jesus said, you're the salt and the light of the world. You're the salt of the earth, the light of the world. That means that we're supposed to spread goodness. Yep. That's what the gospel is. Mm-hmm. It's good news. That's its translation, good news. We're supposed to do that. So let it start at home. Let it start with the people that are around you. Let it start by you spreading thanks, honor around you. Let it start around you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then let it spread out and all of that good stuff. So that's all we talked about today. Okay, so I'm done. I'm out of here. I am out of here. You want to close this out, babe?
Sure.
And then I forgot. I said what hurt me.
Yes, you did say what hurt you.
Do I need to say that again or just no? Because I'm honestly tired and ready to go. And I see that this video has 1 second left on downloading. So it obviously is a problem because it's been there for 1 second since we started this broadcast. And that's 50 minutes. It's been sitting there on 1 second. So you know that that's the problem. I got to go in and figure out what's wrong with this daggone video. It's been sitting on 1 second for 50 minutes. Okay, listen, I'm Lola with the Smoking Prophet.
And I'm Dante.
We are out of here. Do us a favor. Go find our podcast, the Smoking Prophet Podcast, on any platform that you're listening to podcasts, and follow us, subscribe to us, share us. We love y'all. Until next time, have the most amazing life. Bye. You didn't do it like me.
I can't do it like you.
Okay, let me hear you do it like you.
Really?
Yes.
Bye.
That's your bye?
That's my bye.
That's not your bye.
This is my
How
bye.
do you say bye?
Bye.
That's not how you used to say bye to me when you were trying to date me on the phone and you was trying to be sweet and cute to me. Hey. How would you say bye?
Hey, it was a pleasure talking to you. All right, bye.
Boy, listen. Oh, okay, bye, y'all. I